Valentina Monetta. She's the queen of Eurovision, having participated on 4 different occasions. She's apparently the only singer in San Marino, and her backyard is ready to host a Eurovision Grand Final any year now. Most impressively of all, she was the first artist to qualify to the final for San Marino with the song Maybe in 2014. It's safe to say she's a beloved Eurovision icon, but there was a time before that, when she was seen as nothing more than a cheap joke. The tiny country of San Marino was still a newcomer in Eurovision and hadn't made much of a splash result-wise with their first 2 efforts. Now they enlisted the help of legendary songwriter Ralf Siegel to compose their next song. The choice of singer fell on the relatively unknown Sammarinese singer Valentina Monetta, and the song, titled Facebook UOO, was released on the 16th of March 2012 to widespread ridicule. Already 2 days after, the delegation were in hot waters as the title quite obviously referenced the popular social media Facebook, which was against the rules. Rushing to fix this little rule mishap, a new version was written and recorded named the social network song OOOOO. This version was released on the 22nd of March. San Marino quickly became the laughingstock of the year, going viral on the internet due to the huge amounts of cringe in the song and its presentation. No one believed San Marino had a chance to qualify for the final, that chances not being helped by a strange performance with backing singers in random costumes and a decent at best vocal performance from Valentina. With this in mind, they did better than expected, placing 13th in a semi-final of 18 with 31 points. Shout out to Albania for giving them 10 points. At the time, this was San Marino's best Eurovision result after coming 19th and 16th previously, but it did little to help the social network song's reputation, and even today it's seen as little more than a stupid song that happened to launch Valentina Monetta's Eurovision career. This is where I would argue the joke is on us, and that the social network song is a great song that was misunderstood. Let's look at the lyrics of the social network song. The first thing I find interesting about them is their point of view, which seems to shift throughout the song. Let's go through them and you'll see what I mean. The introduction reads like a promotion of the sheer concept of the internet, capped off by the very slogan-like line, "If you wanna be on the hook, simply take a look." The fact that the opening rhyme is chat and internet, which is a stretch at best, combined with the slogan, reveals to us that this promoter is incredibly cheesy and doesn't have human emotional values driving them. It's all business, baby. Now, am I saying that the rhyming is bad on purpose and for that reason actually good? Yes. Then we get into what you might call the chorus, and I know what you're asking. What is all that oh about? Well, you see, I don't know. Moving on, in between the oohs and ohs, we get assuring lines to the listener, clearly coming from the same promoter, saying that the internet is a great place where everybody loves you. The following lines seem to come from online users asking the listener to participate in various activities, mostly of a raunchy character. We're starting to see some holes in the promised internet utopia, ending with the ominous, "never gonna let you go." Now personally, I've always found lines like this weird and creepy in romantic songs, but here I believe it is 100% intended to be read as, "we are not going to allow you to leave." The following verse seems to be coming from a voice of reason, perhaps even coming from inside the listener's head. The concern is relatively mild, but pointing out how much time the internet is taking away. The chorus comes back and reassures the listener that everything is fine, but more holes start showing when faced with the question of online anonymity. Are you really the one that's you? And am I really me? You can never be sure who's who online. Again, the chorus ends with the threatening, "never gonna let you go." The voice of reason comes back, pointing out how the internet can actually make you lose friends from the real world, growing ever more concerned. The songwriters also sneak a subtle reference to internet giant Google in there, which survived the rewrite. Very good, San Marino, you get a cookie. I'll have to take it away for the small spoken word section though, which I'll then promptly skip over. The last chorus is considerably longer than the others, and the intensity is turned up to max. Previous questions and doubts are repeated as the promotion gets more and more intense, my favorite part being everybody is better than before, everybody is calling out for more, everybody inside the room is knocking on your door. Which is a very frightening image as you realize that the internet isn't the utopia promised in the beginning of the song. The whole crux of the song is then summed up nicely. Now you know it is easy logging in for a little more fun and cyber sin. Wanna know what the net's about? The hard part's logging out. I think that speaks for itself. Finally, we get to the enigmatic ending. Is it a good or bad ending? It isn't really clear. Now I've got a million friends suggests an online presence, as that's the only real way to have that many friends. But Goodbye Network Fans reads quite clearly as going off the internet for good, and then the story ends. What's the takeaway? My theory is that the million friends are people not on the internet. They are not friends in the traditional sense, more like people with the same values who prefer to live outside the internet. Thus, the listener has successfully escaped the internet. Before I conclude this video, I will quickly say a few notes on the music as well. There's no doubt Siegel is a talented songwriter. The use of synths and beeps might be a bit on the nose, but they also fit the song very well and give it a great character. It also makes the more acoustic elements stand out, especially this wonderful piano transition. As always with Siegel, the structure is interesting, with the ever-shifting choruses consisting of building blocks that get added or subtracted each repeat. Yet everything fits together and flows nicely. The little falling third motif also appears throughout the song, giving it great cohesion. In conclusion, this is basically the original Welcome to the Internet.